Bernstein says.
Alright guys, I'm here with a CF-Y2. This one says that there's no primary drive in the BIOS. At least it shows that there is no primary drive. So we're gonna open it up just to make sure that there is a hard drive. And if there is a hard drive in there, then either the hard drive connection is bad or the hard drive itself is bad, and it's telling the computer that there is no drive. So we're going to remove all the screws on the bottom. So that includes everything down here. So I'm gonna start off with, first things first, removing the VGA screws that hold it in. This is a 3/16 driver bit.
Martin says Horowitz wore a Hawaiian shirt and baggy pants.
I just do this because once I get going on the screws, I tend to forget to take those off, so don't want to break anything. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to start at the bottom of the unit, work myself up.
Martin says Horowitz and Capitman told
okay, so we're just going to start removing, and then 6 of the screws that I'm going to be removing actually remove the keyboard. So some of these are pretty. They'll be a little bit tougher than the others to get out. Not to mention, this screwdriver sucks. So, I think I've used it too much.
A palette of pastels, teal greens, periwinkle blues, peachy pinks, and Horowitz chose as his canvas Friedman's Bakery, a building on the corner of 7th Street and Washington Avenue.
So I'm just going to go right up.
Take
the ones on these little plastic side covers, and what these side covers are essentially, they're this here. Okay, so this would be the cover for your SD card, which would be on this side, like that, this side, and then you have the other one for your PCMCIA slot, okay?
The architecture is like a cake.
It looks like a big wedding cake. That's what people call it.
I remember this one lady saying, "This is not us. Deco schmecko."
People complained
okay, so now
that Deco was a reminder of the Great Depression. Who would want to highlight that?
Just keep going with the screws here. There's quite a few. And now we're getting to the ones that actually hold the keyboard in. There'll be 6 of these.
In November 1982, Friedman's Bakery graced the cover of Progressive Architecture magazine. Soon, South Beach became a backdrop for photo shoots and TV shows like Miami Vice. Buildings Horowitz had nothing to do with were now adorned with his pastels.
Okay, so there we go. Got one more for the keyboard here. And then there are 4 other screws right here. They hold the hinges. I'm going to assume we got to remove those, so I'm going to use my my screwdriver gun. There's a long one and a little short one, like really short. Okay, so got 2 long ones, and then you have this 2 little shorties. So again, I'm setting these up the way they go. Okay, so let's open this up. And I'm just going to take a quick look, because I know that there are screws under the DVD drive door. So I'm going to turn this one on, get into the BIOS just to pop the door open. You can pry it open, but you know, it doesn't take that long to get into your BIOS, and then just slide it over to open it. This one's going to take a while because it's trying to read the hard drive, but it's not going to work. It's going to fail. So it's going to take a little bit. Okay, here we go. We're in. See if it'll even open. It's on in the BIOS, so
You're listening to Michigan Radio.
A cynical British comic in a movie about a cynical British journalist.
Identifying the cynic.
well, this is awesome. It's not gonna. Okay, so you take your pry tool. Use the plastic one, just
book to an editor.
Shove it right in the middle of it.
It's about evil nuns.
Steve Coogan
And you can
that
kind of see what's
on
going
All
on, so then
Things
you can just...
from NPR News.
All Things Considered starts at 4 and goes until
Lift
6:30
it.
here on Michigan Radio.
Oh my goodness. Come on.
Support for Michigan Radio comes from our
Sometimes
daily
if you...
sponsors,
Yep,
Rich and
see?
Conrad,
I lifted it up a little bit, and then
Marvelous
when it made
Mother,
contact again,
happy
it
birthday.
it starts trying to read a CD. When the light stops blinking, then you're able to access it, and then you actually get it to open. So I'm going to remove, there's 4 screws. You'll be able to see them. There's one little one right here on the corner, and the other ones are in their own little slot here. They have holes that they go into. Okay.
Michigan Radio News. Understand your state.
You can remove the door. See?
Michigan Radio is your
You just
NPR news
push it
station.
back
We are
gently.
WUON
Don't force it, because then you
91.7
break
Ann Arbor,
the little
WFUN
feet there
91.1 Flint,
that lock it in.
WVGR
So then you can just
104.1 Grand Rapids. You can also
gently
check
force
us
it back
out
down,
on
and then you're
social
good to go.
networking sites. We're on Facebook and Twitter. Just search for the words Michigan Radio. It's
Those
2
aside.
o'clock.
Just close that.
From NPR
And I'm assuming I'm going to have to remove...
And this
We're going to have to remove these covers here, so... There's probably a...
backstabbing businessmen,
Okay.
two-faced phonies, sounds like
So we're gonna-
Nope, I'm talking about
From the bottom of the unit, we're going to take a metal pry tool. And we're just going to insert it on the bottom and gently pry these off. Okay? And then you just do the same for the left side. You put those aside. Okay? And then once you remove those, then you'll find one more screw on the corner here, on the bottom left corner by your power button. There'll be another little skinny one. Set that aside. Your hinges, you're going to find that it's really hard to close it because you have the screws taken out. So we're going to pop our keyboard off. I'm not going to show you what I'm doing here because I already have I have a video already on how to remove your keyboard. So I'm just going to pop it off. Actually, well, you could see, but I'm not going to explain really what I'm doing.
The bill is passed. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
That announcement in the U.S. House today, the vote was held amid public outcry from millions of Americans who say they're getting cancellation notices for plans that are not compliant with the new law.
And just remember there's double-sided tape holding this keyboard down.
To accept his temporary fix, which is to extend coverage for existing clients.
And some thermal
by
paste.
another
Okay, so
year.
undo the locks,
Is
the
starting
cable,
to flow more quickly
undo the
in
lock,
central Philippines a week after
undo the
Typhoon
cable,
Haiyan left much
set your
of the
keyboard
region
aside.
in ruin. Simone Orendine
Then we have,
says the US
how many
is
screws
playing
was this?
significant
Let's see here.
Close to a
We
third
have
of the nearly
1,
1.5 million people
2,
displaced by Haiyan need
3,
aid.
4,
The U.S. Embassy's Brian Goldbeck
5
told
screws, and
reporters in
then
Manila with more
we'll leave those
US
on.
air support, local and American
Okay, so
forces
then just remove the
put up a
5.
hub and spoke system to fly in the goods.
I think we can say that there's good distribution now happening through many areas that may have not seen distribution before.
The government efforts to move
Of course, we're going to
things
clean the
around
thermal paste
transport
off, and we're going to
moving with lots of
apply new
police
thermal
still
paste.
blocking roads. For NPR News, I'm Simone Orendine in Manila.
Negotiators
Okay, so now we
between
have
Iran and
that.
6 world powers
Go ahead
are prepared
and
for the next phase of nuclear talks in Geneva over Iran's
kind of close that, and then now we should be able to lift this away.
That meeting is
And there it is,
scheduled
removing the
for
bottom
next
case.
Wednesday. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel has told airmen who guard hundreds of nuclear
Here's your hard drive.
weapons there is no room for error in their
It's
profession.
your IDE hard drives on these
Years
older
later,
units.
Abramson reports Hagel's remarks come after reports that nuclear
Okay, so we're just
technicians
gonna-
ignored important safety requirements.
I'm going to wiggle this one out. I already have another one that I want to try on it. Just to, verify, make sure that it is the hard drive and not the cable. This is the quickest way to do it. Okay. We're going to put, I'm going to put 2 screws in here on the hinges so that I can actually use the screen without really putting too much stress on it.
Expressing disgust over the behavior of Toronto Mayor, the City Council has stripped him of
See, this helps open it a lot easier.
We're going
to get our keyboard, just plug it in. so that
narcotics and driving
we can
drunk,
take a look and
or
see,
vowing
get
to
into the
fight back.
BIOS.
Obviously, I can't support this.
You always want to, verify that what you're trying to repair is the actual problem. You don't want to just do it, seal it all up, and then find out,
Dow's up
oh, that didn't
55
fix it.
points. This is
So,
Good afternoon. It's
Plug that in.
4 on Emily Fox in for Mike Perini with Michigan Radio News. Property
Turn it
owners
on.
in several Michigan cities could soon face tougher penalties if they break
hit
anti-blight
F2.
laws. We have more from Michigan Public Radio's Jake Neer.
Okay, and then I'll bring you down here so you can see what's going on here. See how it shows now? It shows that there is a hard drive. Okay, so we're done. That's it. That's the repair. That's this hard drive was not reading it. So now it shows us 40 gig hard drive, which is what we wanted to happen. So now we can actually put this back together. So I'll put you back on the stand so I can show you guys how to do it. Alright, so we're going to close this. We're going to just unplug it. It'll shut itself off.
About 100 soldiers from the Michigan National Guard are going to Afghanistan.
Going to remove the keyboard just because I don't want to.
Unit leaves tomorrow for Fort Hood, Texas. They will leave for
Okay.
Afghanistan when they finish training.
Mess it up. Okay, so now we close this down.
National Guard. He says this unit is part of the scale
Make sure that nothing gets all crooked or any of that stuff.
Soldiers will be working with ongoing
Okay, so now
projects in the region.
make sure your hard drive is nice and snug in this little cradle there. Excuse me. So now, since I put those two screws back in on the hinges, we'll remove those. Set those there. Lay this in there. First ones I'm going to put in are going to be the hinge screws, just because I want to be able to open my LCD without damaging it. I'm using my Torx, or not my Torx, but my DeWalt screw gun. Torque setting 2. Sunny skies, highs in the upper 40s to low 50s. Tonight, partly cloudy, lows in the 30s. I don't even think my bit will fit on these little ones. Nope, gotta do these by hand. This is gonna be fun. Alright, so now
increasing clouds, highs in the low to mid 50s for the region. Support for NPR.
We put these little covers back on.
Small businesses during the holiday
So
season and all year
put them on the bottom first, kind of like, let's see if I can show you. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm sliding it on the palm rest top side, pushing down on it. Okay, let's flip it over. Same thing with the PCMCIA side. Put them into the palm rest top side and then fold them downwards. Now let's put all the screws in. I'm gonna pause real quick. I'm gonna get another screwdriver. I'll be right back. Actually.
Or is this all part of a natural cycle? Models of climate change predict more intense storms.
Okay.
When can we point to a storm and say, just as predicted by climate change research? That's what we'll be talking about this hour. Our number is 1-800-989-5255,
Put all of these back.
1-800-989-TALK. You can also tweet us at SciFry and go to our website, sciencefriday.com, to join the discussion there. Let me introduce you.
I'm just going down the line here.
Earth is a distinguished senior scientist in the climate analysis section at the National Center for Atmospheric Research.
See, just putting them in like a,
Colorado. Welcome to Science Friday. Welcome back.
laying them out, like you took them out, just makes everything so much easier. You don't have to worry about putting a wrong screw somewhere.
At the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in
Just works.
Princeton, New Jersey. Welcome to Science
Makes
Friday.
everything easier. We're not going to put the keyboard ones in because we got to rethermal paste everything. Now we're going to open this. We've got to put the black screws that we took out from in here.
Where it's most active in the world for typhoons and for tropical storm
Okay.
activity.
And just mark where your screws are with a Sharpie. See these black marks I made on there now. Because there's other little slots there, but you don't need to get in there. Okay. Now that we have this, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to put the screws that go under here. So now, since I messed up, You won't have to mess up if you watch this video. I'll put an annotation on there, you know. Make sure you put the little ones that go under the covers in. No big deal. Total of 3 screws.
And since then, the global sea level has gone up about 2.5 inches. In the region just east of the Philippines, it has gone up about 8 inches.
Just pop these out. Like that. Grab this one. Pop it out. Pop this, and then for the DVD drive, I'm just going to have to force it open. Okay. Put that in there.
So there you point out a lot of dots.
Might as well put the ones that go into the DVD drive in. While we're here, just slide that door back.
Well, this typhoon, Haiyan, is a result of global warming there.
Well, I don't think that's quite the right question.
And then just gently close it.
Is global warming playing a role?
And then see, slide them into these little grooves.
The environment has changed.
It'll just fall right in.
The water, the ocean environment.
Okay. So now that I've corrected my mistake,
1 degree Fahrenheit, say,
hopefully you won't have to remove screws again to get in there and put the ones that you forgot.
Warmer maybe by a little bit more than 1 degree Fahrenheit. And there's about 5% more moisture on average over the oceans than there used to be, say, in the 1970s and earlier. And so this environment is where all of the storms are developing. It adds...
Okay, so now to clean it, I'm going to take a plastic pry tool or my plastic spudger and just kind of scrape off all this excess thermal paste here. Just get the big chunks off, and then we're going to clean it with some isopropyl alcohol.
If not a direct link, an indirect link?
I think my view on it is...
Be careful, there are chips under this black protective tape. Okay? Don't want to ruin those.
Which were the reservoir of warm water that
Squeegee
pointed out that
some
we
of this
have
out.
in the West Pacific. It's unusually deep and warm recently. It's more southerly track.
Okay.
Typically, storms that hit the Philippines hit further north, and this would hit further south, closer to the equator, closer to warmer waters. It had very fast track, so it was able to move away from...
Now that that's taken care of, I'm going to use a cotton pad. You don't have to use a cotton pad. You can use like a microfiber towel. Okay, just kind of get that out of there. I'm using a 91% isopropyl alcohol. If you can find 99% in your local area, I would recommend the higher percentage of alcohol. That just means there's less water in it. This is 9% water. If you can find the 99%, obviously that'll be 1% water, which is great. I can't find it in my area. I've looked for it. Maybe I haven't looked hard enough. So, here we go. Just make sure your chips are nice and clean. After I wipe them off, I usually take a microfiber cloth and just ensure that my chip itself is nice and shiny. Okay. Now, we'll just put this aside, because now we have to do the keyboard. We have to clean the keyboard off.
Recently, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, released its fifth assessment.
Okay, so we're going to clean these off.
There was an assessment of where the current scientific literature stood.
Some cotton pads again.
Our ability to detect
some alcohol.
Hurricane and typhoon activity, and given the data that we have available and the signal that we expect global
rub it clean.
Give us, which is still of uncertainty.
And then there's more under here. So yours may not get stuck like mine did. Yours might actually separate. Okay. For this, I'm going to have to add on this little cover. Just spill some on there so I can actually get some alcohol. Start dissolving this.
There's a very large amount of natural variability from one year to the next.
Okay, and
to another.
I'm going to assume that we have to. This is the first time I've actually ran into a Panasonic that has this much thermal paste on the keyboard. never before have I seen this on a Panasonic or on any other computer for that matter. So now this is kind of clean. Just bend this down so it has the shape that it had. Okay, be careful. This stuff is sharp. It's like aluminum tape or something. So just be careful. You can cut yourself. And then you get alcohol in it, and that's not going to feel good. This little plate here sits on this. Okay, I'll show you when I'm putting it all back together. So let's get some alcohol, clean the keyboard, bottom side here, the back side of the keyboard. Just rub it nice and some firm pressure to get this paste because it's old. Okay.
And this is a part of what leads to the uncertainty in any detection.
So then we'll just
I think what we fall
make sure
back
this is
on
nice
then
and free of all the
our
residue.
Understanding of how these systems work, the fact that they're very dependent upon the sea surface temperatures and the ocean temperatures
and
below the surface.
When we apply the thermal paste on this silver plate, I'm going to spread it around.
Done some of these where you change that environment, you change the surface temperatures, and there's been some interesting experiments recently of that nature using Superstorm Sandy, for instance.
Yeah. So I'll ask it again. At so what point, how many superstorms, Sandys or Ians do you need before you can point to a storm and say, well, you know, these superstorms are due to global warming?
There we go.
Going to be 50 years from
Now let's just clean our hands off. Get a shop towel.
Data collection?
You can get a shop towel too, if that's what you prefer to use it, to wipe this off with. They work well. Just clean the area again. Okay. Cool. So now that we have our keyboard and our little covers and the little plate that goes on top of this clean, set that aside. Let's come back to our unit, open it up. And for today's computer, I'm using the Arctic Silver 5. You can use the Arctic Silver Ceramic or the Arctic Ceramic Paste. I haven't used that one yet. I ordered some. I wanted to give it a try. I hear it's less conductive than the Arctic Silver. This is semi-conductive. It's got conductive, so it's got some conductive properties. Okay, so now we apply this. Okay, this little shield. I like to push down on it just to make sure that it sticks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to also put some here.
So we should wait for the end of the 21st century before we take any abatement because we don't know there's a connection.
Well, no, I certainly stated it differently before. I think there is a component of these. It's maybe a modest component.
Now I'm going to try to replicate what they did. So I'm going to spread it around.
And so the precipitation.
I'm going to take my metal spudger and just spread it around. Okay, they had it on here. It was all spread out, or spread out. So I'm going to do the same. The metal shield, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave that one like that. Okay, I'm going to just squeegee this one.
Which was, the year before Sandy, where
kind of
there was
flat.
Tremendous amounts of rainfall right up into Vermont. And
okay.
I think this
and then any residue, I'm just going to put it on the keyboard, and then wipe it off with some isopropyl alcohol.
And so this is what
and there we go.
These storms a bit of extra
hopefully that.
Now,
and then the little metal plate here, this eye-shaped, it'll only fit on one side. It's got a skinny side and a thick side. Okay. So then we'll do the same thing. I'll just push down on it. Okay, that'll get stuck. Now let's reattach our keyboard.
To the next level, you break records, and things break as a consequence of that.
Okay, we're going to take a break, come back and talk more with Kevin Trenberth and
I see
Gabriel Becky, our number one
something I don't like. I didn't see this before. I just saw some
tropical storms, hurricanes,
cyclones, corrosion started on one of these chips here. So Got to clean that off. I'm going to use a Q-tip. Some isopropyl alcohol. Okay, and just give it a wipe.
I'm Ira Plato. This is Science Friday from NPR.
And this is Michigan Radio, your NPR news station. Good afternoon. I'm Mercedes
Wipe it.
Mejia in for Mike Perney.
We've been taking a look at education in Detroit 40
Got
years
some thermal
after
paste
a
on there, so
Supreme Court
just wipe
case
that off.
about busing. And there's still a lot of work to do. Next time, we'll meet some folks trying to help parents
And just
make
shove
the
that
best
in there
of the educational choices
a little
out
more,
there.
and
That's next
alright,
on State
got
of
that chip
Opportunity
nice and clean now.
on Michigan Radio.
Let's put this back
Listen
together.
for that
The
story
unit was working
today
fine, so
during All Things
I was just
Considered.
wiping it
And
off
you
just
can
to
find out more about State of Opportunity and hear the stories we've
prevent
done so
anything
far
from happening.
at
So
michiganradio.org.
put those two cables in.
Support for Michigan Radio comes from Epic Pass. The
It's
Epic
taking a little longer than
Pass
I
provides
thought it was going
access
to, but
skiing and riding locally at Mount Brighton.
I want to be thorough when I'm
Mountains in
explaining to you
Colorado,
guys what's
Tahoe,
going
and
on.
Utah.
So
Details and passes are available through
okay, and then now
November
just
24th at epicpass.com.
push the keyboard back down. You'll hear it snap in.
This is Science
Okay.
Friday. I'm Ira Plato. We're talking this hour about the
I got some
climate
thermal
change
paste on my
and hurricanes.
keyboard here, so
Kevin Trenberg
just
and
wipe that down with some
Becky, our number one in
alcohol.
998255.
Flip this over.
Let's go to the phone.
Oh, before I forget,
Talk about the
forgot to put the shield back on. Sorry.
I work for a company
Back in here.
aviation and weather services with the FAA. And
I forgot to put this little guy in here, so this goes over
besides the upper winds, I was actually tracking the
goes
ocean.
over the
The surface temperatures, which were really warm. and
Wi-Fi card.
not even with
Snap the keyboard back on. Let's put the screws back in, and then we'll power it on, see if it works.
You could just watch it go over the really high water temperatures at the time and just build. I have another question for them. After 9/11, and when they grounded everything, they noticed there was a 5-degree warmer nighttime temperature.
Okay, and then while I'm doing this one, I'm just going to slide my battery back into place, lock it in, and then I'll bring it down here so we can turn it on. Slide the power over.
Relax and get smaller to keep building over the night, which is what they used to not do.
And there we have it. So it works. Now I just have to load it. So there you go. There you have it. How to replace your hard drive. Long process on how to, unfortunately with these computers, not something quick. I hope this helps. Any questions, please leave a comment below. Subscribe if you want to. If you want to see how to do something else on this computer or on another Panasonic, leave me a message, and if I have it, I'll do it, and if I don't, I'll respond to the message letting you know. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.